Oh, am I allowed to stream now? Take a look, yeah? I thought my streaming was cut off. I'm gonna check that in. Alright, folks, there's some interesting things going on. I want to comment on it before it disappears. Information tends to disappear. Honestly, I don't even know if this will stay up here. Yikes. Okay. Serving. Okay, so it still works because actually, supposedly I have a strike for dangerous material, which is actually I didn't do anything dangerous. I was just talking about the Assange stuff, what was going on with that. So let's take a look over here. Just addressing this because my account might get shut down. Yeah, answer that. There's a lot of narrative control going on, not just of myself, but beyond. Yeah. I don't see the strikes. Oh, video block. Let's get to that. So let's take a look at this over here. This is interesting. This is called Dimple, and you can see that they're old videos, right? Now they have a much more kind of like darker turn, more serious stuff going on, exposing North Korea, things like that. Very negative for North Korea, and they used to actually have much more of a lighter tone to their videos. Right now, you can see this kind of like it's really steering. You know, see a lot of these also these females over here, these pretty females, they're being used by some producer to create a narrative, and this used to be more blatant, but they're starting to. I'm pretty sure that they're even with this being Korean American, the numbers are lower now. I want to get rid of 116, I guess. Yeah. And you're beautiful in North Korea. There's a lot of sexualization of Koreans that have really. If you want views, you're not gonna produce this kind of. Yeonmi Park has learned her lesson, right? She. Let's take a look at the old videos. Why would they purposefully make decisions that would lower their view count? They know this is not what is popular. Docked on birthday to US Disney characters gender swap. Okay. Blackpink, Justin Bieber, James Charles. These are very light topics. These are not really Hollywood, right? This was really their first initial go at it. And these still have decent views, 500,000 here, quarter. Maybe they're paying for some of these too. Who knows? And then they intersperse this with became a rich CEO, I was a victim of the assassination threat. So it starts to get a little bit darker. Right? They have these, and another thing that's interesting is you don't see any North Koreans on my show. And the thing is, I've reached out to this organization, I've reached out to them, reached out to you. They want to get their voices out, right? But only through, right? Do you see these North Koreans on other channels? Let's do a quick search right here to see what pops up. I've been trying to get someone like this on the show for a long time, but they're here on Lad Bible Stories. They're not talking to other Korean.
So this person had eight.
They're talking to other people with money, pushing in. Right, dominatrix discusses top fetishes. This is Asian woman, porn star secrets. This is what Lad Bible's about. Okay, and they also have North Koreans. What's the chance that they're portraying these people, you know, accurately versus trying to really take advantage of the algorithm, make a lot of views, right? 200 Americans live in North Korea? I didn't know that. That's a large number. And hackers is good. Also, I think mentality. Son Dubinsky, right? Yeah. This guy's actually, I think, a traveler who actually, I think, is paid to make a lot of videos. You can see this guy actually featured in other he gets, I believe that he gets paid by other by countries to actually do a visit in their stuff and make a video about it. And there's actually interesting thing exposed about when he visited China, how his content is exactly similar to other traveling uh, travel bloggers. So countries use this to actually generate, right, or to manage the narrative about their countries, using these YouTubers for that, rather than investing in actual Korean Americans, right? Matt and Julia, I think they're also another travel channel. You'll see them go to a bunch of channels.
Have you ever imagined what the toughest, most extreme...
Or is she? They're Pakistan and Russia. Okay, so he's going all over the world. What's the chance that some of these are CIA? I think it's really high. Just me. Gotham Press. Okay. How much Korean Americans are really making content on? About North Korea to South Korea. Okay. How much? Yeah. How much content is there with actual Korean Americans to or managing the content? Right? I think there's something called Asian Boss, and that's more like Asian American oriented. I've contacted them; they never contacted me. I do think a lot of this stuff is. How are these people able to contact North Koreans, but I can't? Why are they getting responses, but I don't? As they have a high view count? No, it's only 50,000, not really that high. Versus a Korean American? Ramallah, Syria. How's this guy getting to all the places? Korea. Very few actual Koreans. Let's go and check out my. I just want to show you guys something. Just document. Not really watching. Okay. I'm gonna ban them, so. Okay, I was at this rally, right? I was there. They've unless I'm wrong, I'm gonna check all of them. Last time I checked, they completely have erased me from the footage as much as they could. They don't want me in here. Even though I'm did a lot of stuff for Trump, right? It's possible that, right, you don't see me in that clip. I have footage of myself there at that event. They are managing the narrative about Korean Americans. All women here. They started to insert some guys after I've been making this an issue for a long time. Really, their core bent is really women will always outnumber the men because it's being encouraged by the big money, people with the clout and the power. They don't. More important than actual peace is their control of this movement. See this? I was there at this event. They completely erased me from the footage. More dead serious. They also have this event coming up with Summit for Korea. And once again, even though Hermit Hwarang and Black Beach Show are really the main guys, that's you. I also told her, right, I was at a meeting and I told her about white control of the movement. These three people are with it. More important than actual, working together in solidarity is their control. Let me see who's also going to have the list. Oh, it's definitely anti-Trump too. But they don't want to speak with someone who's inside the movement who could actually get them more access. Because it must be under control of this guy, Brian Becker. He's using them. Really sad. And all these groups are blackballing me. You can see me attending other events. These are PSL, People's Forum, and Answer Coalition are the same thing. And they are, it's fucking tragic. People's Summit for Korea. Bougie Summit for Korea, that's what it is. People's Summit for Korea. Okay. He even bought a URL, sure. Speaker. Brian Becker at the top. What do you have to do with Kathy Choi? Okay. She's legitimizing this event using Women Cross DMZ. And then they have this guy over here. He's my replacement. Before they didn't want this guy. They really wanted to have a guy in a wheelchair be the representative for Korean Americans to keep them weak. AJ, no, I have a footage with him in the video where I was sat in a meeting and told him like let's work together. They never got back to me. I emailed him, never got back to me. There's a lot of people who are not actually Korean Americans here. This is really sad. I've written to the Black Panthers asking for help on this situation with the white takeover of the Korean American movement. They're not helping. I've written Bobby Seale, written Elaine Brown, written a locally guy called Panther Shepcat. Brother Shep, they call him. Not helping. I know this lady. Well, we're going to talk about this tomorrow with the guy called from Anti-War Tax Coalition. It's all about socialism. Don't want anybody. More important than actual peace is their control of this movement. Fucking the thing is that they don't want me coming. So they have to inject this with more fake stuff because honestly, my work with the wrongfully incarcerated and the disabled, things like that, is actually threatens to make me a actual voice in the movement. They cannot have that, so they gotta inject. That's just the way activism works. You push and the person who's actually pushing for the change must be silenced, but they address the issue in their way, but it's really a setup for long-term failure. Keep the movement under their control. That's why they cannot let me in. They cannot let me, they cannot return my emails or anything. Really under the Korea Peace Now Grassroots Network. Let's see if I can count. They're not going to talk to them. They're probably another shadow. They do a lot of Koreans for decolonization. They do a lot of creating separate stuff. Oh, they have tickets, $40. People are coming in from out of town for this shit? Okay. One day war will break out in Korea. Someone may find this content. being excluded from my own shit. So this guy is actually protecting his other elite friends in the lefty network, including Rana, Benjamin, who actually shield other executives from being exposed for sexual abuse and for theft. I'm not saying everything he does is bad. I'm not saying this whole thing necessarily is bad, right? Summit for Korea. I mean, it'd be nice to have some. Why not, right? But this guy is actually trying to maintain his fuck you, man. So Koreans are not easy to manage, bro. You're gonna see, man. I know you got your little fuck ups over there that's doing a little bit. Who are you helping? Y'all are deliberately okay. He's the member node tool, right? They're the organizers. One Korean, two Korean. KJ, no, man. I found this email before. Can't talk to me. There's people in the anti-war movement that are deliberately. You believe? Do you believe all this shit? Do you think that the what is the chances that the U.S. is in other countries, right, manipulating stuff going on? What are the chances that something with all this money and support is a real, legit grassroots operation here? She is worried. Saw me at the event. Working together. Because they are monopolizing this movement, people have not suffered from more like me. They had the little fucking posh, little fucking bougie get together.